As we've seen in previous episodes, stages in Mortal Kombat 11 contain many hidden things that aren't necessarily visible to the players. A clear example is the Cyberlinkway Assembly Arena, where there is an entire process going on in the background, most of which is not visible to the players. For that, we need to move the camera around to see some of the funny and interesting elements that can be found hidden in some of the stages in MK11. Probably one of the funniest things that I ran into while exploring the arenas can be seen in the Black Dragon Fight Club, where there is a guy taking a leak in a bathroom hidden on the left side of the stage. Now, I'm not really sure if there is an inner joke or an Easter egg behind it, but if you look closely, it looks like the guy is receiving a blowjob from an invisible person more than actually taking a leak. Speaking of taking a leak, it seems like the Black Dragon members just love doing it, especially in public. I mean, the leader of the clan himself, Kano, does it before every single fight, and I was curious enough to see whether Kano really does take out his schlong during his intros. But as expected, he doesn't actually do it, because I imagine the NetherRealm Studios would be in deep trouble if he did so. In any case, let's move on to another funny aspect of the game, which can be found in the tournament arena. I have to say that this has to be one of the noisiest stages in the game, but this is to be expected because the idea behind it is to replicate all the noise and the chaos that takes place in the real Mortal Kombat Pro competition and tournaments. But when you turn the camera around to see the source of all that noise, you realize that the crowd is extremely small. But that's not the funny part. What's funny about it is that these fans have no legs, meaning only half their bodies are visible. I know that developers at the NetherRealm Studios are notorious for cutting down on resources as much as possible, which is fine for me. I mean, you can run Mortal Kombat 11 using GTX 780. I think this is a GPU that was released over 6 years ago. But hey, I mean, these fans don't deserve to have their legs removed. And by the way, if you look closely at these fans, you realize that they are reused in other stages such as the Tank Garage Bunker and the Black Dragon Fight Club. Now, looking at another interesting arena, we have Colosseum Beast Pen, which also has many things going on in the background. This place is supposed to be located underneath Kotal's Colosseum, a stage that we explored in a previous episode and contains many interesting things which you can watch by the end of this video. As the name suggests, this arena serves as the place where the beasts are kept before they're being unleashed in the Colosseum. Like we saw in that episode, there are different types of beasts, but the intriguing part here is this fat giant who's in charge of bringing the beasts into the cell before being sent away. Speaking of intriguing things, there is another arena that is filled with mysteries that are quite fascinating. I'm talking about, of course, the Lost Hive of the Kai-Tin. To start off, we're gonna take a look at this giant queen insect in the background, who doesn't seem to be alive. I mean, you can see other insects moving around like this fella right here, but the mother of all insects seems to be completely immobile. Now, the fascinating aspect of this stage are these humanoid insects who look like Devora, and they all seem to have been murdered by other insects. I mean, just look at this Kai-Tin humanoid, whose head is being devoured by a giant worm. I really thought that the insects in the hive coexisted peacefully, or at least that's how Devora depicts it in her intro dialogues, but the reality seems to suggest otherwise. To wrap up today's episode, we're gonna take a quick look at Shinnok's Bone Temple, which, as the name suggests, is filled with bones of dead people all over the place. Now, what I was interested in is this little shrine in the middle of the arena, which has Shinnok's severed head on its facade, but unfortunately it has nothing inside of it, which is quite disappointing. However, what intrigued me the most while I was exploring this stage is that Shinnok's amulet can be found on the right side of the stage, and I was quite confused because I don't remember Raiden giving back the amulet to Shinnok after defeating him in MKX. In fact, Raiden's default skin in this game comes with the amulet already attached to it, so I have no idea what the amulet is doing there or whether it means anything either. And with this, I end today's episode. Let me guys know what you'd like to see next. For more, make sure to like the video and subscribe to GameLution.